Hi everyone, it's Chloe from Chloe's Creative Cards, and today I wanted to hop on to show you how you can create one of the most fabulous and glamorous Christmas cards using our Christmas Fashionista collection. So we are going to be using a variety of stamps and dies in this project. It's going to be a really nice, quick and easy project to do actually, but it's going to look spectacular at the end. So all of the materials that I'm using are listed in the description below, so have a little look, gather them together in your craft room and you can craft along with me if you like to. And yeah, the products are all available to buy on our website, chloescreativecards.co.uk, if you would like to have a go at making this project yourself at home. Please do let me know in the comments if you do, as I would love to hear what you think of this project. So we are going to get started, and to start off with, the card size that we are going to be making today is a 6x8 card. So I've taken a beautiful piece of paper from our Christmas Fashionista printed paper pad. So this one's got the snowflakes on there, and I've trimmed it down just so it fits on the front of my card. So I've cut it down to 5 3/4 inches by 7 3/4 inches. And we're going to start off by just gluing that down onto our base card. So I'm just using a little bit of Collal all-purpose glue there just to stick this one down. Okay, then next up I've taken a piece of silver mirror card and I've cut that down to 5 1/4 by 7 1/4 inches, so it's just that little bit smaller, so we get that lovely border around the edge. And I'm going to just pop some foam pads onto the back of here to get this all nice and ready to layer up. So then we're going to take the backs off the foam pads like so. And then that's going to get stuck down onto our base card. Okay, so I'm going to put that to one side for now, and we are going to work on the next part. So I've got a piece of plain white card that I've cut down to 5 inches by 7 inches. And we're going to start off by taking a little anti-static bag, and we're going to give this a good dust over, like so. And what the anti-static bag's going to do is it's going to get rid of any fingerprints that may be on the card, and it's just going to give you a slightly nicer image when you emboss. I think I've just inhaled a bit of it there. Okay, so now we're going to take our Wow Clear Embossing ink pad, and we're going to ink up our stamp. So the stamp that I'm using is Oh Christmas Tree. This comes as a stamp and die set, and it is absolutely stunning. If you love that traditional kind of Christmas tree look, you are going to love this stamp and die set. It's gorgeous. A really nice large image as well. So we're going to take this and we're going to stamp it to just to kind of the left side of the card, and I'm going to have it so it's a little bit kind of higher up too, so about there. And this again is what is so fabulous about clear stamps. You can take your time, you can really kind of position them, get them exactly where you want them, and then plant your stamp down. Okay, and then we're going to lift that up and we're going to cover that with some embossing powder. So I'm actually going to use an embossing glitter, and this is one of the Stamps by Chloe exclusive Wow colours. This is Hollywood Hills. And if I just tip that all out, don't worry, whatever we don't use is going back in the jar. But you can see it's a really nice, rich, vibrant green. You've got lots of different colours in there. You can see I've also got a lovely fingerprint on there. So what we'll do is just take a little paintbrush just before we heat that up and just dust that away, like so. Okay then, so what we're then going to do is pop that into the jar, and then we're going to heat this up. So we're going to use our heat gun. So we're then going to hold the heat gun still. As soon as we see that embossing powder start to melt and change, we are just going to move the heat gun over the image. There we go. So that is beautifully heated now. And if I turn that round, just look at the sparkle that you've got on there from the Wow powder. And you've got the different colours in there too, which is absolutely gorgeous. So what I'm going to do next is take a couple of different green coloured Copic marker pens. So I've got emerald green and ocean green. And what we're going to do is just colour in the tree. So to colour it in, I don't do anything difficult. I literally just add little flicks of colour like this onto the tree. I'm not too careful about it either. I kind of just get that bit of colour on there. Like so. And then we're going to go in with the lighter colour. So this one is called emerald green. And just kind of add a little bit of that on too. And you can see by using the two different colours, it gives you like this lovely three-dimensional kind of look to everything. Make sure you've got a nice bit of colour on here. Again, just flicking that colour in. Nothing too difficult about it. You just want to get that colour down onto this project. There we go. Then if you've got areas where you want to darken it down a little bit, you can go back in with a slightly darker colour, and you can just add a little bit more. Okay, but you can see how fabulous and festive that Christmas tree is now looking. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my Art Glitter Dries Clear PVA glue, and where we've got the little dots for baubles on the stamp, I mean, you can kind of follow the stamp, but you can also do this a little bit by eye too, which is what I tend to do, to be perfectly honest. You can just go in and add your dots of glue onto here, like so. And then I'm going to cover that with our gorgeous red velvet Sparkelicious glitter. Now the red velvet glitter is a really nice, rich, dark red. It is absolutely beautiful for your Christmas projects. So we're going to sprinkle that over the top, and then you can see how instantly that tree is like lit up. It looks absolutely stunning. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in. I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to do some little kind of flicky strokes. Okay, I'm not kind of too concerned about anything. I'm kind of just going for it. There we go. And then I'm going to take my Mint Crisp glitter. So this is another Sparkelicious. I'm going to sprinkle that over the top. And then you can see it just adds a little bit of extra texture onto your project and just adds that extra colour. Really, really pretty. So I'm going to pop that onto there too. That's then going to go back into the jar, whatever we don't use. And I want to add a little bit of glitter to the top of that star on the tree as well. So I'm going to take a little bit of salted caramel, which is a lovely kind of gold glitter. So I'm just going to trace the star. Again, you don't have to be too careful. And then sprinkle over with your glitter. And that is then done. Okay, so then we'll pop that to one side and let that dry. And while that's drying, we'll work on some of the other elements for the project. So I'm going to take another piece of plain white card, and I'm going to take my gorgeous Belle of the Ball lady. Now she is absolutely stunning. I'm going to start off by inking her up and stamping her down again, just onto some plain white card. So the ink pad that I'm going to use is a VersaFine Claire in Morning Mist, and I'm going to use the Wow Clear Gloss Superfine Embossing Powder. Again, before I start, I'm going to give a little dust over of my card with my anti-static bag. I'm going to just get rid of the excess glitter on that scrap paper so it doesn't end up in my clear embossing powder. And then we're just going to ink up our stamp. So lots of light tapping all over the image. And then we're going to place that down and press onto our card like so. Lift that off. And you can see we've got that gorgeous line out there. Really nice and crisp and clear. I'm going to sprinkle my embossing powder over the top. So this is just Clear Gloss Superfine that I'm using now. And that's going to go straight back into the jar. And then we're going to heat that up. I'm going to leave that embossing powder out. I'm going to use a little bit more in a moment. I do quite like to stamp the figurine stamped in grey as well. I just think it's that little bit softer than black. And then I'm going to take the little parcel stamp that you also get in this set. I'm going to stamp and emboss this one twice. So I'm going to go 1, lift off, re-ink, 2. Ooh, didn't re-ink that one very well at all there, did I? There we go. That's a little bit better. So we'll sprinkle over our embossing powder again. And then we'll quickly heat these up. So again, we're just holding that heat gun still. As soon as that embossing powder starts to melt and change, we are just moving the heat gun over the image. You don't want to be doing any of this, you don't want to be doing any wafting. You want to keep the heat gun nice and direct and straight on the image. Okay, so that's then going to go straight back into the jar there. Okay, and then I'm going to roughly trim these out so we can start to colour them in. I always like to roughly cut things out first as well. I just think it's a little bit easier then when you come to colouring and things. So I'm going to grab a couple of marker pens in my Copics. So I'm going to go for strong red, and then I would like a couple of like kind of skin sort of colours to colour her in with. Those two will go nice for that. And then we'll maybe do a bit of that and a little bit of that for her hair, I think. Right, so the colours that I've got, I'm going to use Cotton Pearl and Soft Sun to colour our skin in. So I'm going to just colour in like so. I'm just going to gently work round, laying down the lightest colour first. Like so, and then I'm going to go in with Soft Sun. I'm going to colour in just down the back here. So we're just going to add a little bit of shading into here. Shade there. And then we'll go back over the lighter colour, which is Cotton Pearl, just to blend that all in really nicely. Okay, and then next up we're going to take chamois for our hair. This is really nice kind of warm brown colour, really quite pretty. So we're going to just use this to colour over all of our hair like so. And then we're going to take a little bit of the darker brown, so this one's called Sepia. A little bit of that darker brown in as well. I'm going to go back over with the chamois and just colour this in like so. Then we're going to take our strong red. So this is a nice vibrant red. I'm not going to worry about shading or anything because we're going to add a bit of glitter onto the dress. So literally my only aim is to get some colour down onto this area. Like so. Then I'm going to colour in along the bottom here too. Again, I'm not worried about if we get any lines or anything because we are going to put glitter over the top of this. So we literally just want that red colour laid down. So then if you end up with any little gaps between your glitter, you've not got the little white patches showing through. So like so. Here as well. There we go. Okay, so you can see how fab she is looking. I'm also going to colour the little parcels in as well. So I'll use the strong red and I'm going to use the dark green, I think, on these. So just colouring this in. Sorry, I go so quiet when I'm colouring. I find it really peaceful. And I'm going to go in with the darker green as well. Just start to add a little bit of colour into the bows. Like so. Okay, and then I'm going to take a little bit of emerald green, I think, and we'll colour this box in a little bit brighter. Okay, and I'm going to take the strong red again. Just colour in just these areas here. There we go. Right, so we're going to do exactly the same again on the next one, but I think I'll mix the colours up a little bit again. So do this one in the dark green. Again, you could spend lots of time shading these if you want to. I personally think they still look nice, just coloured like this. If you haven't got any alcohol markers, you could use pencils. You could use like your distress inks and water them down. You could use anything like that really, any paints you might have. I used to have some beautiful like, do you like the pearly watercolour paints or twinkling H2Os? Oh my word, they would be fabulous. Need to dig those out, I think. Sure, I've still got those in my craft room somewhere. There we go. So and then I'm going to pop a bit of red onto here. So we'll colour this one, the front now. See how that then looks. Okay, and then we'll do the bright green bow on this one. Like so. Okay, so then you can see how pretty those are then looking. So what we're then going to do is we're going to grab in the little dies that you do get in the set to die cut these out. So we've got the lovely Belle of the ball, and then we've got the little presents as well. And I would like my low tack tape. I say that as if when I say low tack tape it's just going to appear. Let me just grab it. I've been on a little filming mission today, so I made lots of videos for the YouTube channel today. And I've ended up with stuff all over. Okay then, so we're going to pop our die over our lovely Belle of the ball lady. So that's going to go onto there. Just tape this down in place. We're going to do the same with the little presents. So again, just get that die into position and then low tack tape across. Okay, and now we're going to take our cutting plates and run this through our die cutting machine. So with my outline dies, I tend to take out the magnetic shim. I just use my base plate, my plastic shim, and then my cutting plate on the top, and that is enough. Because they're not particularly detailed dies, these are just little outlines. So they're nice and easy to cut. Okay, so we'll run that through and then we'll grab these when they get to the other side. There we go. So there's our little first lot of little parcels. So cute. And then we're going to do the same the next one here. So again, we're just going to kind of position it down like so, and then run that through. And there we go, and then when we release this away, you will see how we've got all of those lovely little parcels cut out ready to go. So we're going to glitter up our gorgeous Belle of the ball first of all. So I'm going to use the red velvet Sparkelicious Glitter, which is this lovely rich red, and we're going to start off by going in with our Art Glitter Dries Clear Glue. Just pop a little pin in the top there. There we go. And we're just going to completely infill the entire area really. There's nothing too much to it, just follow the lines. So we're going to just scribble this in, and what I tend to recommend is if you hold your glue like you would hold a pen or a pencil, you'll find it so much easier to get into all of those little areas. Like so. There we go, and then we're going to cover this with our gorgeous red velvet glitter, which is a really nice, rich red. You can see the sparkle that is coming off that instantly. I have got one that's dried as well. So that's our gorgeous red velvet on there. But then I wanted to add a little bit of kind of like fluff to the bottom of the dress. So you were going to go in with your PVA glue and really just kind of scribble along the bottom of the dress like so. And then we're going to take our gorgeous glitter. This is all at Glistens. It's a really nice chunky white glitter that's going to look nice and frosty around the bottom of the dress. So we've just added that in, but you can see how much that glitter has brought this all to life. It just looks gorgeous now. So I'm going to pop her to one side because I've got this one here that's already dried. Okay, so one of the other little elements that I wanted to add in on this particular project was a gorgeous chandelier, because you do have the little chandelier stamp and die included within the set as well. So what I'm going to do is take my little anti-static bag, that a little dust over. I'm going to take my Wow Clear embossing ink pad. I'm going to place that down onto here and press. And then I'm going to take my Wow Metallic Silver Sparkle embossing powder. I'm going to sprinkle that over the top. So this is like a lovely sparkly silver embossing glitter. We're then going to heat this up. So we're just going to hold that heat gun still. As soon as we see that embossing powder start to melt and change, we're going to move the heat gun over the image, like so. And then I'm going to take a little bit of colour for on the flames. So this one that I'm using is yellow ochre. Just going to add, oh, it's a little bit dark, maybe could go for a lighter one. Just a little bit of colour onto the little flames on the, well, not flames, rather the light bulbs. The light bulbs on the chandelier. And then we're going to take a little bit of low tack tape and tape this one down in place. So that's then going to go onto here. So you just want to get that nice and positioned. And then pop that there. We're going to run that through our die cutting machine again. So there we go, we're just waiting for that to run through. And then grab that at the other side again. Okay, and now it's the fun part. Now we get to bling up this chandelier. So I'm going to use a little bit of Diamante Sparkelicious Glitter. And again, sticking with the same Art Glitter Dries Clear, PVA glue. We're just going to add a little bit of sparkle onto here. like so. Just add the swirl in here. And there. Just going to work around. My PVA glue onto there, and I'm going to cover this with our beautiful Diamante Sparkle glitter, which is just stunning. So then you can see that gives you that lovely sparkly finish on the chandelier there. So we'll move that out of the way. I'm going to just get rid of the excess glitter on my scrap paper. Okay, and then I'm going to take a chisel tip glue pen, and I would like my Crystallina glitter. Okay, I'm going to take back in the piece that has the lovely Christmas tree on. I'm going to take our chisel tip glue pen and just drag it along each edge like so. Going to go into our glitter there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is layer this up onto our base card. So I'm going to carefully flip this over. I'm going to add my foam pads onto the back. Okay, so we're going to add some foam pads onto here. Do like a lot of foam pads on my projects. I like them not to sink or anything. Okay, so I'm going to take the backs off these. These are, of course, the only foam pads that I will ever use. These are our foam pads on a roll, and they are incredible. They make getting the backs off so easy. You can literally just whip them off like this. They are so super simple. And there we go. So you can see how that's then looking. We're then going to position our gorgeous lady at the front here. So I'm going to take a couple of foam pads just to put on the back of here. Then a foam pad on there. Foam pad on there. There we go. So then get the back off here. Okay, and then we're going to put her down here, like so. I'm going to tuck this little chandelier in. I'm going to stick the chandelier in flat. So I'm going to lift her head up there again, so that we can then pop this just in the background there, like so. And then we're going to add our little parcels underneath the Christmas tree. So again, just a foam pad on the back for each of these. Pop a little one there, and then a little one just here. Okay, so you can see how that's really building up the scene now. And then we'll take a little leftover scrap of white card and we'll stamp the sentiment that it's the most glamorous time of the year, which of course, when you get all of that fabulous sparkle, Christmas really is. So we'll stamp our sentiment. I'm just going to use that VersaFine grey ink pad again. Oops, nearly dropped it. Just re-ink my stamp because I think I've got half of that on my fingers there. There we go. So we'll stamp that down. I'm going to give that just a little waft with my heat gun just to dry it off. There we go. And just have a little guillotine to trim this one down. So we'll just get that so it's straightened out a little bit. So that's going to go in the top corner up here. Got a little bit of silver mirror card that I'm going to just map this onto. So just pop a little bit of glue onto the back. I'm going to stick that down onto there. And then just trim this piece off. There we go. And then pop that in the top corner, a little bit of an angle. But that then would be your finished project. So I really hope that you have enjoyed creating this card with me today. As always, all of the materials are listed in the description below, and you can shop everything online at www.chloescreativecards.co.uk. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to our channel. We've got so many amazing videos on there. And of course, if you're watching on Facebook, give us a like on there. I hope to see you again soon. Bye!